Hey guys, this is Rick with Stop the Illness and 45 News Utah Western States Media. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you can, if you get a chance. This is going to be another update on COVID-19 and the outbreak in India. So not a lot of stations are covering this, not a lot of news media, bobbleheads are saying much about it, but this is a variant, multiple variant of coronavirus, and it is of concern to the World Health Organization as of now. Okay, since the beginning, we've known something's been going on in India. It's been out since October, but something's getting a little more dangerous with it. Per the World Health Organization and WION, which is an India-based news network. So I just watched a brief show on this, or a brief, upload they did to YouTube, where the variant of concern by the World Health Organization is the variants that's in India. Now, the reason why they're saying this is because, like we've known for the past few months, this is easily transmitted, so it's gain transmission. It's got that gain of function where it's more transmittable, which is okay to do as long as it becomes not as deadly. So just to add that to that stew we're talking about here with the variants, which are basically mutations, a bunch of mutations into one variant. So that's how they label this thing now, as gathering a bunch of mutations and sticking them into what they call a variant. That's when you know you don't really have the information. There's too much going on inside these mutations. Remember that. One mutation, two mutation, three mutation, four, and it goes five, and then they put them all together. And that makes a variant. So anyway, so this is of concern. The World Health Organization is labeling this a virus of concern, or a variant of concern, because A, it's gained transmissibility, and B, it has gained a function to try to avoid or bypass the human immune system. Just saying. Anyway, not good news. Not good news. This is something you don't want to happen in a virus of any sort. Now, we're going to dig a little bit into another issue, and I hope I don't get banned for this. Remember, this is free press, free media, right here. This is it. 45 News Utah, Western States Media, and Stop the Illness are all under this umbrella. We are media companies, and I'm an actor. just saying. Very tired. Actor went fishing today. So we're going to dig into a little bit of the fight going on the internet and on YouTube about leaky vaccines. Now, there's people saying on one side, virologists saying, hey, this isn't a big deal. It's not that big of a deal. We slow we immunize the population. This will help protect the population. The problem is it's not really an immunization. Well, it is, but it's not a vaccine. But it isn't. But what is it? What are we getting? We're getting an mRNA vaccine that gives you a code to tell your immune system what to put out and be ready for this virus. It's not a vaccine in a sense that we know. Normally, like smallpox and other, polio and stuff like that, those kind of viruses, we get a shot of a dead or weakened virus, and your body sees it, and it goes in there, builds the right immunity to it, and it can never affect you again. mRNA vaccines are vaccines that basically tell your body what to do without injecting the virus. Your body makes a copy of some parts of the virus. So the kickback with the leaky vaccine, now you have to look that up for yourself. I'm not going to go into that. There is studies about chickens and stuff like that with certain viruses that they've tried to stop using mRNA vaccines to keep chickens from contracting certain viruses that would kill the flock, and then they lose money on the raising chickens for meat products. But the problem with that is the immunized chickens get a mild form of the illness or no symptoms, and then they shed the virus onto those other chickens that are not vaccinated, and the other chickens usually die because the virus is able to still move through the population. That still gives the virus a pool to move in. And the people, or the chickens that are vaccinated, don't really know, and they just keep they keep on contracting it. It doesn't, the host doesn't get sick or die or live through it. And then that way the virus, when it gets so intense after it's had enough time to keep mutating, and it becomes deadly, the chicken that has a vaccine up to date survives. But any other chicken that comes in contact with the vaccine or with the virus through a vaccinated chicken kills that chicken. So, but there's studies, out saying that if you don't vaccinate the population of humans, then we'd have a worse consequence, and that would be, and that's why I think President Trump and Dr. Fauci decided to get this vaccine out no matter what at all costs. And the reason why is because COVID, the Sars COVID-2 virus, is deadly if it's given time to move like it's doing. So that's the reason why I think that they were so adamant on deciding, well, could we have the leaky vaccine, scenario, or could we have a death virus that becomes so advanced over time with billions of people to move through, easy transmission, that we would be dealing with a like one variant like what's happening in India that could just explode and just wipe out the population before we could get a handle on it. So looking at the, from my point of view, not as a virologist, just as an actor that's not paid on doing this video, just common sense or my own opinion, I would say that Trump and Fauci and the others at the World Health Organization figured it was more beneficial to mankind to get the population a vaccine, even if it was an mRNA vaccine. It's not a cure. It's not a cure at all. It's just it staves off severe illness, but still allows the virus to move through the population, be it less. Now that's the thing they're gunning for. They want less of a population being infected. Now the mRNA vaccine will help suppress the illness and the shedding of virus. The host will not have the high levels of virus like it would normally running through the population. So, like Xi Jinping said, this is a demon. They've locked their country up. They are trying to keep this thing completely out of the country because I think they know more what's happening, because a lot of this viral study was going on inside China, inside the Wuhan labs. They were studying, SARS-CoV-2 or SARS viruses. They're manipulating, trying to get a cure for it before it actually did what it did. That's why people are like, I know it came from Wuhan lab, blah, 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 blah. If it did come from the lab, we're in trouble. If it didn't come from a lab, we're probably in bigger trouble. So if this thing was able to jump from a bat to a human, and now we know it goes to white-tailed deer, and it goes to moles and voles and raccoon dogs, and it's being per WebMD. It can jump from mice to human, or from humans to mice. We have the test subject that we needed, that this virus needed to really, really gain some function. That's why when they inject the human DNA inside of a mouse to be able to get the virus to bind to the first in the lab, that way they could test it and grow it and get its own gain of function through lab mice using a very small rodent that reproduce like crazy. That's how they were going to try to get a handle on this thing, just in case this SARS virus, SARS-CoV-2, got out into the population that already have a vaccine for it. A real dyed-in-the-wool vaccine. Something you take one shot and you're done. But I feel we missed that opportunity. They had a window they were working on, and somehow in the time that was given, we should have dumped billions of dollars into these labs and just really locked them down and said, hey, get this out, get this done. We need to make sure SARS, COVID-2, or whatever SARS, severe respiratory syndrome, that we put a stop to it. We already had that ready for an arsenal. I don't care if Johnson & Johnson had it, whoever had it. We should have had this ready, just like the Ebola. We should have had this. Now, that's the breakdown of what a leaky vaccine scenario is that the host that's vaccinated sheds it, and it still is able to transmit through unvaccinated and two other vaccinated individuals. So don't be too hard on Fauci when he says double mask. Wear a mask anyways. They are waiting to see what happens in India. And I just commented saying, on that WION from India, that what is the World Health Organization doing? What is the CDC doing? Why are we not grabbing mass amounts of test samples and finding out how deadly, how easily is it transmitting, and how fast this virus is advancing? We need an A team, guys. If any of you are from the feds or from the World Health Organization, you're watching these videos from Radio Free Press America, which I don't have a radio, and it wouldn't matter anyway because no one would probably listen. I don't have a podcast, but I'm here, and I do have Stop the Illness, saying we need to have more happening now. We're not out of the pandemic. Just like I hear, oh, as we get out of the pandemic, we're coming out, as we get back to work. All that would be moot. All that could be complete moot. And it could be, we could have wasted trillions of dollars on nothing if this thing decides to do what we hope it doesn't do. Scenario 3 is what I talked about back in the day. One of my videos. If it hits that scenario 3, it won't matter what anybody does or says now, because the problem is the thing will mutate so fast it won't make a difference, because remember, a variant is like 12 different mutations, just like what happened in Sweden, or with the mink that got infected had five mutations inside one variant, but luckily that one died out. Or did it? That's the question. Did it find a host somewhere in the wild now, and it's moving freely through a wild population, and we have not seen the evil brother to COVID-19 that may be raging through populations of rodents? We don't know. This is where the guys fly out of the helicopter, they're all in white suits, and they land, and they all jump out, and they take all these samples, and they off to the lab they go, and the trillions of dollars that should be thrown towards them, instead of 500,000 electric car plug-ins, or $50 billion to the Bureau of Land Management that Biden and his group's doing now. I think that, this might be a calling to the world to say, apparently you don't know what's happening. If you're giving us a limited study from India per WION and the World Health Organization, we just watch that. You can go to that, click to that video right here. I shall show you. This is the one right there. See where my arrow is at the very top? That is the story that I just watched. Not hard to find. And the World Health Organization says we have limited information and limited this. We haven't really. Are they trying to not tell us what's happening? Just a question. I mean, just an honest question. Not trying to be malicious or anything. I really don't think there's any malicious intent in this, other than the fact that the people, the population, apparently thinks that everything's going to be okay. We need to be fed the information. The bobbleheads on CNN could be saying bobble, 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 bobble. We're paid by bazillion-dollar people, but we're going to be okay, because this study that would involve thousands and thousands and thousands of people that were infected with SARS-CoV-2 in India have tested and shown that this thing is, as of today, it's not more deadly, and it is going to be okay. And it doesn't avoid the human immune system to the point where we have to worry. And we have these other companies being funded by mass amounts of money that every stinking, filthy, rich government is just throwing money into these programs to save the world. I'm not seeing that. If it's happening, post it. At least you could give us the information, World Health Organization, and say we have tested. We have 500 tests going out every single week. Huge tests. And assure the population that they are watching every single mutation, that they're keeping their eyes on different populations. In India, we are taking samples constantly. We have people on the ground in suits just test. If this is happening, where is it? Where's the information? Don't we deserve to know after over a year of this, guys? We've been locked down. We've been to the point where our entire world has been affected, but trillions of dollars have been just out the window for, it's like a drunk kid. It's like a drunk in an alcohol You know, like at the alcohol store. He's walking into the liquor store and you just handed him just trillions of dollars. He's like, what should I be buying? Cough syrup. No, I just don't get it. I just, we could be facing the slow and orchestrated attack by a virus that mutates so many times. Well, it mutates, every virus mutates. You wouldn't be calling them variants if they were just mutating like the average virus. And if this India mutation with the, European or the EU variant and South African variant, how many other variants are out there? What's your mutations? Are we just still lumping all these new mutations that are happening to the India or UK or Brazil or the South African? We're just lumping it all into a variant. And at the same time, it's gaining function. It's getting gain of function due to the population it's moving through. And you're just adding another mutation into variants. So was it 20 or 30 mutations into a variant? I mean, come on, guys. It's a no-brainer. These guys ain't giving you the information. They're not. If you're not preparing now for the possibility of a massive outbreak that these guys can't stop. Why? Because they're too drunk spending money on stupid stuff. That's what it is. That's what it is. So that's the opening statement for tonight's newscast without a podcast. I don't have anybody with me today. Everybody's too busy. But that is my opening statements for today at 10:37 p.m. 5/10/2021. Now let's get into the news, shall we? We're gonna go ahead and click on to Fox. Let's see if we can get this done tonight. I know everybody's tired of hearing about doom and gloom, but hey, if it's the truth, there are a million other possibilities could be happening right now. Oh. Okay, there's critical race theory. I don't even want to get into that, really. Okay, beware of the dark side. FBI named cyber attacker who shut down pipeline as gas prices jump. I wonder if that guy had money to make for, or they had money to make for the oil companies. I don't know who's involved. What are they on this side or this side? They plan on increasing their stock, or are they just shutting it down for a ransom? I think it'd probably invest in stock and then shut the pipeline down. That would probably be a better way to rob a company now than there ever has been in the history of the world. Just buy stock and sabotage it, or sabotage what would make the price go up. New Biden White House officials, word on ICE come back to haunt her. Words on ICE, yeah. Okay, so new Biden White House officials, words on ICE. I guess Immigration and Customs. Yeah, thumbs down on immigration. Americans are saying Biden's doing a bad job on immigration. We know that. There's lots of people streaming across the border as we speak. Just coming right up in. Same with the drugs. Okay, part of the pipeline taken hostage in cyber attack is operating again, but it's only temporary. Wonder who stands to gain out of all this. Yeah. It looks like Glenn Youngkin wins Virginia GOP gubernatorial nomination. Okay, if you're there in Virginia, that's good for you. Yeah. Los Angeles area man disguised himself as a white guy to commit over 30 home burglaries. I gotta click on this one. This is breaking news. Yeah, he had a mask and everything. So, that was his face mask right there. See that? Now that's some pretty funny stuff. And he was a black guy. Oh, that's some funny stuff. That's a good idea. Really good idea, guy. Yeah. Okay. Let's hear the screaming from whatever side decides that's unfair, right? Cruz returns Golden Globe as he takes a stand. What's he? Hey, Tom Cruise, there's a virus out there that they really can't control. Oh, The stars, oh, yeah. Okay, wait, let's see. Okay, Tom Cruise with Golden Globe for his work on Magnolia.
So who climbed?
Sheesh. Let's just shut that up right now. Looks like Tom Cruise and Scarlett Johansson are two of the Hollywood's biggest stars to speak out against the HFPA. The one lady, she used the organization of lobbying sexist questions and remarks towards her while she promotes films, some of which have bordered on sexual harassment. That's news. That's the news. Don't worry about the variant from India. Let's not worry about what's going on in the Black Sea either. Haven't heard nothing on that, have we? The Coast Guard cutter that's heading into the Black Sea, or the British ships that were heading into the Black Sea. Nothing going on there. Yeah, nothing going on there. There's just a bunch of small stuff. Yeah, Harris hasn't been covering the border at all. So she's just basically non existent when it comes to the border that she's supposed to be taking care of. Wonder why. Ugh, CNN. Ugh, this is horrible. Let's just go to CNN. I'm giving them some actual views. This is probably boosting them up. Cheney is being run out for one thing: her consistency. No, she's being run out because the Republican Party doesn't want her there. The majority of the Republicans. I seen a CNBC interview. They're interviewing a Democrat that was talking about they'd vote for Cheney and said that she's doing a great job of voting and speaking her mind, but then, that lady was a Democrat. She'd probably kick out somebody that was voting on Republican stuff. No brainer, guys. Just flip everything. States with the highest and lowest vaccination rates. So we're getting into a little bit of COVID stuff. See, they really don't want to scare the markets. That's kind of the big deal because, jobs claims, the jobless claims is pretty much going to affect the bottom line on these, kleptocrats at the top, the big, massive global Ponzi scheme that was quoted by Max Kaiser, which I got to watch the next Max Kaiser video since I got a chance on RT, which I don't know if I can watch RT anymore because it might be considered espionage. Russia Today television, I have no idea. No idea on the way that's going to go. That's another topic for another segment, but I don't want to be kicked off my platforms by covering the executive orders Biden put out there on Russia. So I would just like to cover that. Anyway, states, yeah, we got onto that. See, pediatricians preparing to vaccinate youngest COVID-19 shot recipient yet. Claims linked COVID vaccine and infertility are everywhere. Here's what experts say. We don't even need to click on that. Don't even need to. Experts are going to say it's not happening. And, conspiracy theories are going to say it's happening. So we already know that outcome of that. And I don't want to see some stupid bobblehead paid reporter that's making more money than I am working for a living. Their take on it. Fact check. Biden makes false claims about former Federal Reserve leaders. Revives misleading job claim. What is CNN trying to say? CNN, you're just so the best thing to do is to go to the goofball that they have hired on for their editor. This guy right here. Yeah, I probably wouldn't listen to you. You look like a guy that sits in a little 5x5 desk and all day long, you just probably don't get out in the world very much. President Joe Biden claimed last Wednesday that the last 5 leaders of the Federal Reserve has declared that his American Jobs Plan proposal will increase economic growth. The American Jobs Plan, which you can read about here, would spend roughly $2 trillion. There's the roughly. You guys get it? The roughly. The possibilities, roughlies, all that stuff is all garbage. So as you see roughly, don't believe it. There's the fact check for the day. Jobs plan would roughly, now that leaves the door legally open This guy that wrote this, he just left the door wide open legally for anything. It could be a $60 bazillion plan, and there ain't nothing you can do about it because he posted roughly. Well, at the time, it was my understanding, my personal roughly that yeah. No, it's just roughly leaves it open. Just always watch out for that. I call it the alphabet word soup. They put words together and then they put it on their articles, and that way governors, presidents, congressmen could always and editors of fake CNN could just sit and put these together and say roughly. We all go, ooh, roughly, wow, good possibility, probability of that. Oh wow, that's huge. Fake news, yeah, conspiracy theory. Well, gotta get it that away from me. Conspiracy theory can be considered anything as a theory, depending on what side you stand on. It can be a conspiracy. Yeah. Anyway, so let's see. Biden has proposed to pay for the spending by increasing the corporate tax rate 21 to 28%, and will make a variety of other tax changes, including a major increase in tax enforcement against corporations. And by the way, the last 5 leaders of the Fed coming out and saying, what did they say? What did they say? They said Biden's plan is going to grow the economy. Biden said in his Wednesday speech at the White House, facts first. Biden's claim is false. Do I have to go back to see? Is this really CNN? Oh my gosh, there's a CNN at the top. Hey, suited weird guy, you're probably exactly right. So hey, I take everything back I said about the bobblehead. Okay, he's probably going to be out of a job by tomorrow. Fact check, he's wrong. Biden's wrong. Yeah, Biden wasn't accurately referring to an opinion article published in the Washington Post. Oh, there's your problem. Oh, that just set it off. The Washington Post. These guys are they're definitely going to be believable. They haven't made a bazillion mistakes in the past and said, oh, well, we're retracting that. Sorry, we made a mistake. We just bombed the crap out of some country. How's the weapons of mass destruction doing for you, Washington Post, like 20 years later? That's all I can say is America. So basically, Biden's just a complete dunce. A misleading jobs claim is back. On May 2nd, we pointed out that after early April fact checks from CNN and others, you guys ain't fact checking nothing. That's just a lie. That's just your opinion. Biden's team has stopped wrongly claiming or suggesting that the economic firm Moody's Analytical found that the American Jobs Plan proposal would create 19 million jobs. Well, Biden made a version of the claim last week. Yeah, version. Okay, let's just say in a slightly different form than the original. But that new form was misleading too, and Biden added an additional inaccuracy at this time. On Thursday's speech in Louisiana, Biden said all the economists, including the liberal as well as conservative think tanks, point out that will create when we pass it, that will create jobs, these jobs when we pass this job plan. Well, we'll create up 16 million good paying jobs. In the White House speech the day prior, Biden said you have Moody's talking about the increasing it up to, I don't know what the most recent one is, 60 million jobs. Fact check, Biden was wrong when he suggested in Louisiana that the liberal and conservative economists and think tanks all agree that the American Jobs Plan will create 16 million jobs. There is no consensus. Biden's just spewing whatever his handlers are telling him. And there's a portion of the population will be like, hey, this is great. Biden's going to give us 16 million jobs. Take away the 9 million that's on unemployment, and no, yeah, it's getting dumber. Tom Cruise returns Gold Globe Award in protest. We'll see how that worked out when what's her name that she returned the I think it was a Gold Globe, or what was it? She was a Native American and she was sent out to accept that award for what's his name, and she's protesting the Wounded Knee standoff that was taking place in South Dakota, and she never worked in film again. So maybe Tom Cruise is done for because they will come after him. Yeah. Bill and Melinda Gates have been working on their divorce since 2019. That must have been a pretty interesting thing. I'd like to be a fly. No, I wouldn't want to be a fly on the wall there. I really, richest kleptocracy in the world. I don't want nothing to do with it. 6 killed at Colorado birthday party were part of the same extended family. I imagine the guy that did that was probably restricted. Whoever had the gun. Just saying. Just imagine. I don't know. Yeah, don't know. Don't care. Do we even need the Gold Globes? No. That's so. Yeah, Elon Musk, big mistake on Saturday Night Live. Don't care. I guess I'll watch it and find out. Jen Psaki on how long she'll be in the White House as press secretary. Nobody cares unless you're completely just wrapped up into this extensive theft of the future. Israel launches airstrikes after rockets fired from Gaza in a day of escalation. Of course it's happening. We can't have peace now, can we? Peace is not profitable at all for any of the major kleptocrats. They need war. They need to sell weapons. That's what it's about. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the Trump decision. Facebook defends kicking Trump off. Whatever. Grey's Anatomy is coming back for season 18. Let's have Grey's Anatomy reboot. Boy, my life has just been completed. Okay. Dum, 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 dum. Thanks, CNN. I'm now dumber, and I'm going to click it off. Let's get rid of CNN. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So, we're sitting here at the end of the day. Don't got much for news as far as Utah news is concerned. Oh, wait. Maybe we should actually do Utah news. Let's make this an extra long complaint session, shall we? Thanks for standing by, guys. I mean, believe me, if you want to do the news, you guys are going to be in for, I need you guys to tell the truth. I did Fox News again. That was national news I got to do. Let's do KSL. Let's do KSL Utah. Let's do the Utah news. See how many COVID people that actually got tested. And, okay, vaccine approval for those 12 and over could help break the back of the pandemic in Utah. Okay, well, that would be great. Let's hope it works. Okay, Transcontinental Railroad in Utah for the first time in 17 years. A story in revised book on Okay, yeah. Okay, Utah Governor Spencer Cox joins call to end enhanced unemployment. Remember, if you put 9.2 million people back into the workforce without giving them a livable wage, unless they're 17 and they're living in their parents' basement, we are going to have to heavily subsidize them. But remember, there's a lot of people coming in, so they can get a lot of the money too. They're money dumping. Cox is just saying we got to get these people back to work because we can't fill jobs. We can't fill jobs. People can't live off the wage they're getting. Then it's pointless. The inflation is going through the roof. You can't afford a place to live. You can't buy a house. So if these people are going to enter back in the jobs force, in our job force, that'd be great. But the problem is the jobs are help wanted that's out there, usually jobs that are not high enough paying to keep anybody off of subsidies. Those are subsidized workers by you, the taxpayer. Just think about that. So it's great to kick them all off and say, hey, you know what, get back to work. I understand. People on unemployment, it's horrible. They have fun for a little while, and after a while they just lose the ability to go back to work, or they're too afraid of COVID. But remember, those of us that have health issues, prior illnesses, asthma, bad teeth is a big one, which no one's saying nothing about dental when it comes to, like medical. They're just not talking about dental, which is a huge part of your health, which nobody's even said anything about it. The rest of us have had to go to work the entire time, even from the very beginning. We're sacrificed. They didn't care. They don't care. It's all about the dollars, about what they're going to make, how much they can rob out of the system. They don't care. When you guys are sitting on the sidelines, they're just dumping unemployment at you just to get rid of it. It's too much money. Too much money they have. Oh, as water managers worry about the worst drought on record, what do people think should be done to save water? Great idea. Reinstate the conservation pool levels on our reservoirs. Paiute is drained to nothing, and all that water's got to go out for agriculture, and it's just got to go. But the problem is we're not building more reservoirs. We're not holding back more water. It's probably time to build more reservoirs. Let's increase the fishing and the activities throughout Utah by building more reservoirs. You have spent 5 point something trillion on road maintenance, which is going to be just for the mass amount of people moving here, per Governor Cox. You could build more reservoirs. There's 9.2 million people out of work. Why not put those back to work, some of those people back to work doing jobs they might enjoy, building reservoirs? So the issue is, if we don't have enough water for people, agriculture has to give up their water, or the people have to quit moving here, and the kleptocracy of the housing market needs to stop. It needs to be regulated by the state. State needs to say, hey, you know what? No more building. We can't accept anybody else from out of state coming in until we get our water situation under control. But reservoirs are a great new idea that's not new at all. Jordan was a big one up north that was built. We need to be building reservoirs. If we have to do 2 reservoirs, one after the other, we're going to have to do it. Holding ponds, just consider it. But you have to maintain conservation level. And conservation levels have to be higher in order to compensate for drought. Okay, so this water's running off. And unless you're living in an area like Iron County where the groundwater is very important, we need to be building reservoirs. That's how you fix the water situation and stop half the developments and find out what water you can spare. Okay, that's my take on it. Yeah, U.S. children ages 12 and 15 could begin COVID-19 vaccinations. Same stuff. Alpine School District moves board meeting online over safety concerns. It doesn't matter. The rest of us that were considered essential workers did not get to hide. Okay? We're all facing this. It's not going to change. Till India's variant gets here, then we can really worry, depending if they were watching what's happening. Maybe we could be really getting ready for something much bigger than the first COVID outbreaks. Looks like buying a home brings fear and trepidation in hot market. It's all kleptocratic. That's all it is. They gave you a lower interest rate to help people, and the realtors and the real estate market and the moguls stole it all. Doesn't matter. They raised the prices too high. Now the wood people are taking their cut and steal people. It's just everybody's trying to steal. Stop buying houses. Stop building houses. Really shove it right back to them. Utah will see a spike in gas prices, because we're already above the national average by quite a bit, by the way. Just saying. There's no link between COVID-19 vaccines and variants. More studies need to be done on everything. And we're still on the Capitol Police stuff. Who cares? Vaccine approval for these 12 and over could be... How badly I read that. Yep, worst drought on record. Well, build more reservoirs. But you can't fill the reservoirs because you don't have enough water anyway, so it's going to take a couple of years to get them reservoirs filled, or we're going to have a massive flash flood, like a massive wet period that none of us have ever seen. We can pray for that. Be a great idea. Saturday, there was a 14-year-old killed in an ATV accident. Not good. Died. I think that was St. George. Let's see. Yep, Hurricane. He passed away. Not a good thing, guys. Not a good thing. So I don't see the COVID numbers for today. That really makes me curious why that's not being posted. Maybe it's in some kind of like article. Let's see. Utah COVID. It should come up. Cases. Let's see. Let's see how many COVID cases we had today. Today, the 10th. That's May 4th. May 10th. That's a population vaccinated. I didn't really come to see that. COVID case counts Utah a day ago, 2 days ago. Today's Monday, guys. Where's the COVID cases? Why are you not putting it on the news? I'm going to let this load. It's going to take a second. Bear with me tonight. Did some good fishing. It's already 40 minutes into my news today. This report was updated daily approximately 1 p.m. Let's see how many cases today. Morgan, yeah, we know about that. I want to know how many cases we had today, not on the 1st, not May 1st. Why are they doing this? Where am I not seeing today's cases? COVID-19 cases, people tested. Beaver case, hospitalized, deaths. It goes for the entire subtotal. How many people have died in Utah? 2,225 people have died in the state of Utah since the COVID outbreak. 16,381 hospitalized. But I don't see today's count on that. I don't know why it should be right there at the top. 1 day ago, 232. Why did we stop today? Cases. Let's do May 10. May 9th. Where's 10? I'm just curious. I still don't see it. 10 hours ago, 207 cases. So we're going down. Make sure this 10th. Yep. So they had 207 cases. Let's hope that stays that low. Yeah, it looks like a Draper teenager hospitalized with blood clots after COVID-19 vaccine shot. Can't talk about that. Looks like these school districts are offering meals to students over the summer. See where this is at. Who is offering free school lunch over the summer? Shall we? Cache, Grand, Juab, Kane, Logan City, Millard, Murray, City School District, North San Pete School District. Nothing for Iron County or Washington. Okay, well, that's probably all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching. Sorry I drug it out so long, but I figured after a weekend like this, Mother's Day weekend, hope you guys all had a good time. Hope everything went good. It was a long weekend for me, and it's back to work. So you guys take it easy. Thank you for watching 45 News Utah. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you later.